61 million Gen Zers have started entering the workforce, and they're seriously shaking things up. If you're not entirely sure who Gen Z are, they're the generational group that follow millennials born between the mid-90s and the mid-2000s and currently represent your youngest candidates up to the age of 24. As the first generation raised with the internet at their fingertips, Gen Z are starkly different to their millennial siblings, so we're going to have to do a lot of adapting to keep up with them. So, how exactly are Gen Z disrupting the recruitment industry? Number 1, they're raising the bar on tech. Gen Z have been surrounded by sophisticated tech their entire lives, so they're extremely confident using it and expect you to be too. They use a much wider variety of social platforms than millennials, so if you're relying solely on LinkedIn for all of your recruiting, you'll be missing out on all the Gen Z candidates hanging out on the likes of Instagram and Snapchat. You'll lose out to your Gen Z competitors who know how to recruit on these sites. Gen Zers have so many different options when it comes to keeping in touch, so they expect regular updates and quick feedback throughout the hiring process. But on their terms, not yours, which takes me to my next point. Number 2, they hate using the phone. How many phone calls do you make in a single day? 30? 50? As hard as it might be to believe, most Gen Zers won't make that many calls in an entire year. They've never known a world without smartphones, so talking on the phone doesn't come naturally to them. And this is something the recruitment industry really needs to catch up with. Similarly, Gen Z recruiters starting out in the industry won't understand why you're targeted on calls and will prefer a much more creative, multi-channel approach to their outreach strategies. And this isn't something that should be discouraged. There's a lot we can learn from Gen Z about how the communication landscape is changing, and it's important that we listen. Number 3, they're creating a casual culture. Remember when every successful business person we knew of dressed like Wolf of Wall Street? Well, this look isn't synonymous with making big bucks to Gen Z, who see this as something just for the movies made before they were born. Instead, this generation has grown up watching Silicon Valley billionaires like Big Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg get rich without looking rich. Their idea of a power suit can be as simple as jeans and a t-shirt. Even before Gen Zers get started entering the market, workplaces were moving away from business dress as forward-thinking companies took note of big tech's dress-down policy and followed suit, or no suit to be precise. So, before you remind your Gen Z candidates to turn up to interviews smartly suited and booted, be sure to check the dress code first. It can be just as embarrassing to turn up to an interview overdressed as underdressed.